Hi, John. Good morning.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Yep. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Okay.
Preparing for our defense on Friday.
Okay. Good luck. Good luck. And knowing you, I think you would ace that. So, what was your paper again? Like the topic?
uh, s- spatio-temporal analysis of
Ah,
traffic
spatial.
accident.
Okay. Yeah. Let's wait for the students. Maybe. Um. Yeah. It's still a minute. I'll just finish my breakfast and I'll be back. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Maybe if there are already three students, we can start. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, welcome everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, Grace and Hasiba.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you
Good evening.
guys? How's the weekend?
It was good.
Okay, were you able to finish the worksheet that I assigned to you last meeting? The
With
worksheet
John,
about
right?
yeah with John
Yeah.
ab- about Power Query using the cookie company data.
Yes, sir.
Okay, was everything clear with that? Uh, I think that the discussion the last time was not the best, and I may want to reserve some time today if we have um, to discuss it again if something was unclear to you. But were all of you able to finish it? Nia, Hasiba, were all of you? I think Grace was able
I
to
was
finish it.
absent
Oh,
because
okay. You had a this emergency, right? I hope
yeah, my daughter
everything was
was
solved.
sick and I was in hospital. So yeah,
Yeah. So
I
no
tried to
worries.
follow through the video, but since some point I need help, maybe
Yeah.
I would ask John to help with that part.
yeah, I understand. Again, that meeting was, I think we encountered so many troubles, but the latter portion was okay. It was just, I think in the middle, and yeah, I think
So
during the
I'm not
middle
able.
section.
I'm not able to finish it because still my my kid is sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
no
it was
worries,
good.
no
Yeah,
worries.
it was
Yeah, yeah,
interesting, but I learned from that meeting.
yeah. Um, it's good that I think everything was well with your children, Hasiba. Nothing really
Yeah.
serious, right? Okay,
Um.
it's nice to hear.
Yeah, she feels better now.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. Thank you.
good, good. Yep, you're welcome. Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the meeting.
Hey Jeff. Hey John.
What happened last Saturday? I
Yeah, I'm
was waiting
sorry.
for you.
I was just not like um. I was just not feeling well at all, and then
Ah,
I,
I
I was
see.
gonna I was gonna get on, but then like next thing I was just kind of trying to I was trying to sleep it off, but then
Mm,
like next thing I know it was already over. So um
I I
yeah, I
see.
was like not really sleeping the night before, and then um I think I probably fell asleep around like sometime in the morning,
I
and
see.
then
I see.
yeah, and then next thing I know I woke up like the class was already over. So yeah.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, it's nice that we have you this meeting. Well, I think you're also familiar with Power Query and Power Pivot, right? So those were the topics that we discussed last
Okay.
Saturday. So I think it's very easy for you to catch up.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll watch the video for that. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be doing a recapitulation later because
Okay.
that discussion, I had troubles with my Microsoft Excel. Uh, it was freezing, and the things that I want to show are not really showing during the first uh like two times I tried it. For some reason, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened during that time. So anyway, yeah, but for today, this is a new week for us. This is the last meeting for Microsoft Excel. We will be discussing what if analysis, those three types under it, particularly uh, scenario manager, goal seek, and data tables, or others call it a sensitivity analysis. Okay, so we'll be focusing on that for the meeting today. Okay, are you ready, guys? Okay, hearing none, I suppose that you're ready, right?
Let's go.
Okay. Yep. So let's start. I'll be sharing my screen. Um, where was it? Okay. So again, say similar as what we did previously. I'll be switching back from the lecture that I prepared to Microsoft Excel. Okay. Uh, let's see. Are you seeing it now? My screen. Okay, okay, perfect. So what if analysis, basically, as the name implies, is w- you would be looking into ways in which to see what would be the potential outcome. What if we do this? What we, what if we have these values? Okay, typically, in financial analysis, you would be doing this stuff. Like, suppose that you are trying to hit a particular revenue target. And let's make things simple. Suppose that you're selling um, an apple, okay? Or you are selling apples. Say the revenue that you would get from one apple is $1. How many do you need to sell if you want to hit a revenue of $1,000? Of course, that's fairly simple, right? So it means that you need to sell 1,000 apples, right, to get that revenue. But oftentimes, it's not as simple as that. Oftentimes, there are constraints like you can only sell an apple at most of say $1.50. I think $1.50 for an apple is already expensive. So there are cases such that there will be those constraints. Like for example, in a competitive market, there would be other competitors that would be selling the same product, and you cannot go over the price for the same product because your customers would be choosing the much cheaper alternative, right? And this what if analysis gives us an idea on first identify how many units of an item should we sell in order to get the desired revenue. So that's what goal seek is for. If you know the target and you just need to manipulate like the number of units or other parameters related to it, then you need to use goal seek. Okay, goal seek would allow us to manipulate those parameters in order to get the desired target. Another type of what if analysis is the scenario manager. So suppose that, maybe put it this way, you are looking for a house to rent and you have five options. So house A cost like $2,000, and you have other costs as well like utility, um, HOA fees, and all other things. So you'll be comparing this different different options: housing A, housing B, housing C, and so on. So in order for you to have a summary, okay, in order for you to have a summary of the different options and see and compare the corresponding total cost, you would be needing to use scenario manager. So the name implies it would give you like a bird's eye view, okay, a summary of the different options that you have, depending on like uh, what are what would be the source, okay, of the variation. So for the housing example, it could be like the cost for the HOA fees or homeowners association. It could be like um, the actual rent itself. It could be any other cost, okay, related to it, related to renting a house. And lastly, for data tables, okay, that is the third and last type of what if analysis. So you typically use that if you want, or if you have at least one variable or even more variables that are being used in order to get an output. Like for example, you want to obtain a loan and you have this different interest rates like 5%, 8%, 10%, and you want to know, okay, how much how much monthly payment would it be if I choose the 5%? Of course, you would be choosing the lowest one with uh, the one with the lowest interest rate, right? It's like a natural way of deciding um, which loan to obtain. But there are other considerations as well, like oftentimes loans with longer durations, they have the higher interest rate. However, in terms of payment periods, it's much longer, and the EMI or equated monthly installment would be much lower. Like if you decide to purchase a car, if you decided to finance it like for a longer period, then the monthly payment would be less. However, the interest rate would be higher. If you decide to make the period shorter, then the interest rate would be lower, but the monthly payment would be higher. So to us analysts, that's very important because oftentimes this top management, those decision makers in the company would want to see these different scenarios in order to decide. So it allows us this what if analysis. You might be thinking, Jeff, we can do that. We know how to import or input formulas in Excel. We can just create a table and do the computations manually. Yes, it's true. However, for complex complex things, like it could get really complex if you are considering more indicators than it would be time consuming for you to sort of develop this template in which you'd be inputting this values and see the alternatives, like the different scenarios. So while you can do it without using the what if analysis functionality in Excel, it offers you efficiency. Okay, it offers you efficiency, and suppose that your boss wants it in like quickly. He gives the data and asks you, okay, uh, identify the different scenarios wherein we have this and this and this. This what if analysis functionality in Excel would allow you to um, quickly, okay, get those scenarios or alternatives. So let's start. So again, there are three types. So I have here an example about the bookstore. So suppose that you have to sell 100 books. Okay, you have 100 books in your storage, and you're deciding, okay, what if I sell these books for like 60%, like 60% of which would be equivalent to the highest price. I'll be selling it uh in this case did I include the price in here? I think not. So for example, 60% of this 100, well, basically it's just 60 books. I would be selling it for the highest possible price. Okay? I think it's $50. Yeah, I included it here, $50. And you might be thinking, Jeff, why are we discussing like how much proportion of my stock do I need to sell at the highest and how many should I sell at the lowest? Well, in business, as you know, there will be times that you'll be offering discounts, especially for, um, say, seasonal items, right? So if you want still to maintain this particular revenue from like a certain number of stocks that you have, then you have to optimize. Like how many should I allocate for promotional activities? How much do I need to sell in order to still get the revenue that I want? So as you can see in here, if we sell 60% of the price for the highest 60% of the stock for the highest price, we will get an equivalent of uh, $3,800. Okay, 60% would be sold at $50, and the remaining 40 would be sold for 20. Okay, but what could happen if we decide, okay, instead of 60%, I want it to be like 70%. What if 80%? What if everything we sell it at um, the highest price? What amount can we get? So it's easy because we're looking at like a very small value, like 100 books only, right? So you can easily deduce, and also the price is a whole number. But if the price is like a decimal number, it's not that obvious. So if we sell like all of these books, okay, all of these 100 books for $50, then we're expecting to get 5,000, right, in total profit. Do you follow? So instead of doing it one by one, we can use scenario manager, okay, in order to look into this different scenario. In this particular case, we already know what profit we want, so we'll be using goal seek. So that's the difference. If you know your target outcome, you'll be needing to use goal seek, okay, because you already know what your goal is. But if you just want to see, okay, the different results, the different outcomes, if you change a particular thing in your equation, like in this case, um, the percentage of your stock that should be sold at the highest price, then you'll be looking into scenario manager. Okay, so let's see. So this is basically what I just told you, like what would happen if we sell the 70% of the stock at the highest price, or even 80%, or even up until 100%. Okay. how much are we expecting to get in terms of profit. So I've included here a step-by-step process. You go to your data tab. However, I may be needing to show to you the actual file so that you can, maybe I should share it to everyone so that you will have your own copy. Let me see. Give me a minute to upload everything in our GitHub. Any questions, guys? Any questions about this thing that I'm discussing? No questions? Mm, Upload file. So I'll be renaming this lecture 6 data so that you can easily see it. Excuse me. So this would be lecture 6 data set. Okay. Now, if you go to my GitHub, you should find it in there. This is downloadable. You should look for, where was it? This one, types of what if analysis. Okay. Can anyone go to it and download the file so that you can do it together with me? That file includes the different examples that we'll be using for the discussion today. So you should have it. And please let me know if you have it already so that we can proceed.
What was the name of the file, please?
Lecture 6, what if analysis. What if analysis types. Okay, just a virtual thumbs up would be good, just to have, for me to have an idea that you have it. And if you encounter any troubles downloading the file, just let me know. Um, it would be something that we can talk about and look for a fix. So as you can see, this is the same exact thing that you saw earlier. Like we have the total number of books in here. We have 100, and we are trying to identify, okay, what percentage should be sold for the highest price. Highest price, we are pertaining to like a $50 profit. Okay, the highest price translates to like $50 profit per unit. And then I added here some details that if you use GoalSeek, this would change, right? You would see this different alternatives. And if you use Scenario Manager, the total profit would change. So basically, if you already know your target profit, okay, then GoalSeek should be the one to be used. So it means that basically you'll be editing and optimizing related indicators of your profit. Okay, were you able to download it, everyone? Grace, Hasiba, Jeff, Nia? Okay, I see Hasiba. Awesome, awesome. How about the others? Okay, Nia says yes. Perfect. Grace, Jeff? Grace and Jeff? Are we good? Were you able to download the file? You see the chat box? Okay. Yeah, I think we should proceed. Jeff and Grace, just let me know if you're encountering any troubles downloading the file, but you should be able to download it pretty easily. So we look into this. Grace. Okay, I think Grace is in transit. Yeah. Okay. So, yep, let's continue with this. Again, let me just give you a background about the data set. We have the highest price in here. Okay, we have the lowest price in here. We have the percentage, okay, of the total number of books that we want to be sold for the highest price. And we have the corresponding profit. For the highest price, if you sell one, then that is equivalent to having a $50 profit per unit, and the lowest price, $20 per unit. Again, this is just for the purpose of discussion. In reality, typically, you may want to have this range very, very short. You don't want to like sell the same item for a very different price, very different prices. So usually, um, you are optimizing something that's very near with each other. So in order for us to apply, okay, um, goal seek in this case. Suppose, hmm, what profit do we want? What profit do we want? Say we want a profit of say 3,500. Suppose, okay, we want a profit of 3,500. So that should be 3,500, okay, not 35,000. So what could be the proportion, okay, that we need to sell for the highest price in order to get 3,500. You might be thinking, okay, Jeff, that's just easy. If you look at the formula, it's just it's just algebra, right? You just have to identify, okay, um, what proportions is this is just 100. How many should be translated to like 3,500 total profit? It's just a linear function, right? But this option, this functionality in Excel makes it pretty easy. So we just go to what if analysis. So that is under the data tab. You go to what if analysis and then look for goal seek. Again, goal seek is used whenever you already have a value in mind, your target, your goal. Okay. So this particular cell right here would identify, okay, what particular value be needing to change. Okay, so in this case, say, okay, to value 3,500. And which cell do we need to change? We would be changing this cell right here. Okay, set cell H13. I think we don't need this. H13. I'm not seeing my entire screen for some reason. 13. Yeah, we actually need that. Okay, it should be H13, yeah, because that's um, the output. So without referencing to it, Excel will not be able to locate the information that it needs. Okay, so if you want to have a 3,500 total profit, as you can see, it automatically changed, right? It automatically changed from being 90% to 50%. So you need to sell 50% of your stock, okay, at the highest price, for the highest price, to get um, 3,500 total profit. Again, it's just basic arithmetic. It's just basic algebra. If you think about it, 50 times 50 to 2,500 plus 50 times 20, which is 1,000, right? So you will get a total of 3,500. We can actually compute that using just algebra. It's relatively simple. Okay. So that's how you use goal seek. Again, you use goal seek if you have already the idea of the target, you know the target, and you want to identify, okay, how will I change my parameters in order to achieve that target? In this case, the parameters would be the proportion of books that you need to sell at for the highest price. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. So let's play with it a bit more. So what if, okay, Jeff, what if we want to have a profit of, say, hmm, 5,000? Okay, how do we what proportion should we sell? And I think you already know the answer, right? Again, this is just a very basic example. So we all know that the only way for us to get $5,000 in total profit, if you're changing only the proportion of items to be sold at the highest price, is when we sell everything for 100. Okay, or rather for, yeah, for 100%. I mean, for $50 profit per unit. Okay, does that make sense, guys? So as you can see, everything is changing. All of the values that are linked to this total profit column or total profit cell would change whenever you apply the goal seek. It would automatically change. So that's one thing to remember. Make sure that these things are tied together. Okay, as you can see, I'm using formula for each of these values. Because if you try doing it, okay, replicating this idea without using any formula, it won't work because um, for the basic reason that the goal seek functionality will not be able to see which cells are related to each other. Okay, so that's very important. Make sure that you're using this formulas, and in that way, goal seek would easily see the cells that should be changed. Okay, now let's play on it a bit more. Let's try to see, okay, I want a 3,000 profit. Um, how much should I sell for the highest price? And as you can see, 33%. Okay. Do you follow, guys? Is that something clear and straightforward to you? Okay, perfect. How about the others? Now we consider another example, which is in this case house rent. Okay, so the house rent. Suppose that in this case, imagine that you have multiple options. Okay, you have, say, three options. Let's put it right here. You have, suppose suppose you have three options in renting a house. And why am I putting it in capitals? Renting a house. So you have this option A. Let's consider option A. So, well, basically, these different options, they have their advantages and also disadvantages as well. So for option A, you might be, well, you might be considering it because of its proximity to other establishments, such as its proximity to um, a train station, its proximity to your work. So because of that, you have this cost. Maybe the rent is higher since it is near to every establishment. That maybe we can just copy this. In fact, say this is the option A, right? The reason why it's 4,000, 4 grand is because it's near to every establishment that you need, right? And you have this potential. This is just an estimate. a $350 electricity bill. I think that's a lot. Okay, I'm not sure about the energy prices, the electricity prices in the US, but if you compare it here, I think this is a lot for just one home. Gas bill would be 150. This is something I think realistic. So garage bill. What do you mean by garage bill? I should ask you. What are the items that would be uh, under the garage bill? Could it be like maintenance of your car? Does it make sense that will be including the maintenance of your vehicle under garage bill? Or maybe parking, right? You might be paying for like a parking fee. Yeah, that's how I thought about it. And of course, there will be miscellaneous costs. So we'll be estimating it to be $500. And we created here another option, say option B, just option B. And the corresponding rent could be lower, right? It could be lower because it's like outside the city. Maybe let's make it more realistic. Outside the city could be like two grand. And then electricity bill would be pretty much the same. Gas bill would be probably twice because you'll be needing to move from that house to your work every single day. And garage bill would be probably higher. Let's double it. And then others, well, could be a bit higher. So this is option B. Again, this is a scenario in which you would be traveling to, or you would be renting in a place outside city. So you're weighing that decision. And we have this last option in which it's like a suburban location. So could be like in the middle of this two amounts. And then we have the electricity bill could be the same. Gas bill would be something in the middle, 170. Garage bill again could be in the middle, and others. We could just say that it's a bit higher, okay, because you still need to travel from that location to your work in the city. So seeing this, okay, seeing this different options, you should you should um you should see a summary, okay? You should have an idea on what could be the potential total cost for each of this. Of course, it's kind of easy, right? It's easy because this is just a sum. So you might be arguing, Jeff, just get the sum. Okay, just get the sum of this, and that's it. Well, actually, you're right. We can do it this way. Okay, we can just get the sum and have a comparison. But oftentimes things could be much complex. So you might want to have this functionality built in Excel that won't require you to write the formula by yourself. Some is quite easy, and this example is fairly simple. But if you're like analyzing the financial statement of a company and you want to know how you would like maximize the profit, what are the scenarios that could be feasible in doing that, then just doing it from scratch using this way is not really that efficient. So that's where the scenario manager becomes very useful. So let's look at it. So let's go to data, and then again in this what if analysis button, look for scenario manager. So again, um, why scenario manager? We have different scenarios, and we have this different values that we're looking on. Okay, let me just delete this. Wait. Let me just delete these things that I did before. So again, the reason why you're not using GoalSeek is because, well, the premise is we don't really know our budget, right? Let me see the chat box. Just just some OCD, but scenario 4, can you change shirt? Oh, oh, okay. Sorry about that. I wasn't able to recognize that this is on the peso. I think I think Excel is recognizing that, yeah, my location in the is in the Philippines. That's why um it assigned it automatically to Philippine peso. Okay. Yep. Thank you very much for pointing that out, Grace. So yep, let's go back to it again. As I was saying earlier, um, we want to see these different options and the corresponding um total cost for us. So we go to scenario manager instead of goal seek because we don't have like a specific budget to begin with. But if we have a specific budget, then um, we can use goal seek. Like for example, my budget for everything would be at most $4,000. What could be the rent and other the value of other expenses in order to um, like uh, get that maximum total cost. We can play with it later. Okay, so let's try adding this different scenario. So I'll just put it here, option, just house A. Okay, and we'll be changing cells C10, which is basically this total right here. Okay, and then hit OK. At least one of the changing formulas as you specified contains a data type or a formula. Formulas will be replaced by constant values when you show a scenario, and data types will be deleted. I have it. No, no, no.
Oh, just interrupt one thing real quick. I remember now. The thing that we used
Mhm.
was solver. I think this similar to scenario, right?
Yeah, so yeah, solver is something that, for example, you have a constraint.
Yeah, I
Um,
have a constraint.
yeah,
Basically, I need this. I need the gas bill to be within this range or something like
yeah, you
that,
can
but
do
still
it
do.
that way. You can use
Okay,
the
okay, okay, okay.
solver for that. Perfect. And if you're familiar with linear algebra, this is also, well, basically a linear algebra type of problem in which you're trying to optimize something. Like I have this budget and I have this following constraints. Like my budget for electricity bill is up at most $300. That's it. My budget for gas bill would be at most this. So give me the options that I have, right? So that can be done using solver. Jeff, you're correct. And yeah, for changing cells, it should be this instead of the other one actually. Let me just remove this. It should be this that we need to change. Now, suppose, yeah, we'll just copy these values that we already have. So this is option A, and we already know the equivalent total cost. And now we have house B, and we'll be changing the actual, the same, no, the same parameters. So it will be this time 2000. The have 350. This is 300. This is 400. This is 600. Click add, and then we have house C. We will be changing the same values. So it would be this time 3000. Again, we are just expecting the same result. Okay, but I just want to demonstrate to you that for complicated things, it would be better um, to just. Oh, I think I clicked add again. So just do it. Um, hit OK, and I want to delete this thing. So show. Okay. This thing. Okay, so you can see it's changing, right? You're seeing the total depending on this different scenario, but we can generate a summary. Okay, we can generate a summary that would give us all those different scenarios. So this is the current value which is equivalent, just equivalent to this. And this is the scenario when you choose house B. This is just sum. So, yep. So this is exactly the thing that we had earlier, but just getting the sum again. This is because this is just a fairly simple computation. Okay, but it would be different um, if it's so much more complicated computation. Okay, do you follow, guys? Again, the process is you set up the parameters that you want to change, and for the different scenarios that you want to see, you just add it in the scenario manager. As simple as that. Okay. So, any questions, guys? Any questions about scenario manager? To be honest with you, I don't usually use scenario manager because oftentimes the computations that I do requires me to create my own template. But for I think for financial people or finance people, there would be so many instances that you'll be using this. May I know? I think we have Hasiba and Jeff, who were from the finance industry. Are you using go what if analysis frequently at your work, or was it more about solver?
No, I've not used either one of those. Solver was from business school, actually.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping to use it in work, but then I should have never really got to use it.
Yeah, yeah. Mm,
I think solver is probably better for it's more useful for like operational efficiency
yeah,
people, like
for
when they
process,
want to figure
also
out
for process improvement.
what's the most efficient, like I think sometimes when they want to figure out what is the most optimal quantity to produce
Exactly.
is the best, right? Like if you produce too little, that it may be too costly, or like if you produce too much, it might also be a little bit too costly. Then finding
Yeah,
out what that
yeah.
middle point is.
And with solver, you can actually specify your constraint. Like you can only produce this much for option A. You can only produce this much for option B. So in that sense, well, in the
Yeah, yeah,
production,
yeah.
you would be using more of the solver. So yep.
But yeah, I
So
just remember solver was pretty powerful. I remember.
yeah, yeah, and yeah. As you can see, with goal seek and with scenario manager, we're only basing the different values in like, well, for goal seek, you are more particular with the target total, with the goal, thus the name goal seek. And with the scenario manager, um, well, one thing before I forget, the number of parameters that you can only include in scenario manager is at most 32. So that's the limit. Okay, 32 um, parameters. So if you go back here, imagine having 32 expenses forces. So that's the only like that's the maximum that you can do with scenario manager. And personally, I haven't gone maximizing that um because yeah, just like what I said, I've been using my own templates because these studies that I've done and projects that I've done in the past requires me to build it from scratch. But if you want to, for example, you are pressed by time and you want to have a quick summary of these different options that you have, then at least you know that there exists this functionality in Excel that gives you that ability to generate this summaries for those different scenarios. Which is actually this is something that's very interesting. I think um you can use it in your like in your house expenses or house budgeting. You can apply it in there. Um But yeah, let's proceed to the third one, which is actually a much more sophisticated one. Let me see. Yeah, this is for a movie theater. Okay, maybe we should use this. This is a much more complicated one. So suppose that you are deciding whether you would go for like how many seats? Okay, let me make it simpler. How many seats should you consider if you want to maximize your like your profit? Okay, so this should not have a dollar sign actually, because hmm, let me think. If we retain the dollar sign here, then we're saying that for like one seat, we have assumed like $1 of cost. Okay, so that's the thing right here. And for the screen cost, it costs us around $3,000, and with the ticking, it's $500 and so on. So these are the relevant costs. Okay, and we are trying to think. Okay, how can we maximize profit here? Should we go with only 400 seats? What is the equivalent profit with that, given this cost? Okay, so these are fixed costs, 3,500, 1,200, and so on. So the only variable cost here is the seats. That is supposed to be $1 for a seat. Okay, but the others are supposedly fixed. And you have a total cost, which is just the sum of this. Okay, and then for the revenue side, this is like $40 per ticket. How much is the typical ticket in a movie in the US, guys? Is it realistic to make this $40? I think that's an
It's very
expensive.
expensive.
Okay, we can
Gotta be
actually change
some
that.
like really good, crazy
Let's make it
movie.
$10. Okay, to make
Dude,
it
that's too cheap. Let's do like 25.
25. Okay, this is too
20,
cheap.
25,
So
25.
25. Okay, $25 a ticket. Okay, so that's the revenue. Okay, not yet the profit. It's the revenue for a ticket. So assuming that all of the seats, okay, are taken, so you will have a total ticket sales, which is just the product of this and this. You have 400 seats, you multiply it by 25, you would get this. Like 4 times 25 equal to 100. So in this case, 400 times 25 is equal to 10,000. So that is the total sales. Okay. And you have food and beverages. So you have a section that would sell those things. Okay. So we assume that is it expensive to assume that for like a beverage they would be consuming $50? Is it realistic or too expensive? Again, we are assuming that per seat, okay, per customer, they would be uh consuming $15 worth of food and beverages. Should we make it 10? I think that's too much, like $15 for food and beverages. Or is it? I'm not a fan of like theater or going to the cinema. Books and coffee is my way to go. So is it something realistic, guys? Like $10 for food and beverages in a movie? What do you think? Oh, okay. Hearing none, I suppose that it is realistic. So let's just
I
assume
think
that.
just popcorn is about like $15.
Popcorn is $15
I think so. Yeah, one
in a
packet is
cinema. Wow,
15 or
that's crazy
12,
expensive.
something between
Okay.
like that. So
Okay. One
I
reason
I
to not
don't
go to
go
cinema. Okay.
much to the
Okay.
cinema,
Okay.
but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. Let's go. Let's put it back to 15 again. That's another reason to not go to cinema. Things are very expensive if you buy in there, and I think you're not allowed to bring in outside food. Uh, I think I'm not. Again, I'm not a fan of going to cinema. So, and here are other sources of our revenue. And to get the total revenue, you just get the sum. Okay. So of course, we would want the total revenue to exceed the total cost. And why is that? Why is that? Why do we want to have the total revenue higher than the total cost? Unless you want to go bankrupt, right? So the break even is that your total revenue minus your total cost is equal to zero. They are just the same. So in those case, you don't earn anything, right? So we want the total revenue to exceed the total cost, and that's how we get the P&L, right? So if it's positive, then good, we have a profit. If it's negative, then um, that's a bad thing for us. Okay, and we want to decide. Okay, we have two options. Our option is we have say 500 seats, and we have a 700 seat. And your boss tries to ask you, okay, what is our expected return or profit when you have 500 seats and 700 seats as compared to 400? I want you to do that. Okay, I'll be giving you 5 minutes or maybe more. Give me the scenarios in which you have a 500 seats and you have a 700 seats. So I expect to see current value, which is this, guys. I want to see this again. In your scenario manager, it would show, okay? And then I want to see another scenario in which we have 500 number of seats, and lastly, 700 seats. And I'll be calling someone to show their work. I'll be giving you maybe 8 minutes would do. So your timer starts now. Okay? Can I get a thumbs up if everyone's okay with that?
Can you please repeat what should we do?
Okay. I expect to see three scenarios there. This is the first scenario. This is the current one. This is the second scenario. And this is the third scenario. So Grace says, so we are assuming all other costs. Yeah, they are, for the purpose of discussion, they would be fixed. Okay, and the only thing that would change would be the cost equivalent to increasing the number of seats. I know it's unrealistic, but let's keep things simpler. Okay. But of course we can actually change this, just like what we did in the house rent. But I want to make this as simple as possible, just to give you familiarity with the process. We'll keep these things um, fixed. Okay, fixed costs. Where is it? View critical text. Hmm. Merge. Where's merge? Merge. Hmm. Merge costs. Merge cells. Fixed cost. Okay, there you go. So how would you do that? You just need to basically repeat the thing that we did earlier. But considering the formula, you should have there the total revenue and the total cost. Those are the things that should change. Okay, anyone? Again, we're holding this, okay? To make things simpler, we will be changing only this seats. From 400 to 500 and to 700. But of course, in reality, whenever you change the number of seats, there would be additional increase in the cost. Like you'll be needing a bigger screen, a better lighting, a better security. It's easier to manage smaller number of crowds. So you definitely need more security for cases in which you have a larger crowd. So that's what's happening in reality. Okay, anyone who wants to share their work? Stop sharing. Anyone? Scenario A. Okay. Scenario B. I'll be changing this to 700. Okay, anyone who wants to share their work, guys? Delete. Show. Scenario. Hasiba, Grace, Jeff, anyone who wants to do the recitation or even show us the how to do it step by step? Yeah, it's quite different to what you are seeing in the Excel file that I sent you because in that we are changing all other parameters, not only the number of seats but also the cost. So you see there medium venue and large venue, but we're making things simpler by only changing the number of seats and making the other costs constant or fixed. Okay, so don't be confused. We can also discuss that how do we achieve that kind of result, just like by doing what we did with the house rent. So it's the same, but I want you to think how to do it with just one variable right now, just to see if you can apply the steps. Jeff, are you there?
Yeah, but sorry, I was not done with this one. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Hasiba?
I'm
You
working
want to
on
try?
it.
Okay. Yep. Grace? I think I saw Grace still working with the like um the cap and the uniform. Okay, okay, yeah. No worries. We'll wait for you. 5,000. Subject to the following constraint, like seats would be at most 500. Um, Writing would be at most 200, 2,000. Okay, so okay. After this, John, after this session, I want you to use the time tomorrow to have a comprehensive review. Okay, I want you to go over all of the topics and identify anything unclear. Maybe they have questions or they have to refresh something so that uh, they would find the exam easy. Okay, so you'll have a review with John tomorrow during lab. Grace, please take it away. You can share a screen, and and I'll be showing you how to use Solver. Okay, after you've presented your work. Okay, what are we seeing right now? It's quite small. Right.
Okay. I think I can do audio on my phone, but not on the desktop.
Yeah. Can you zoom it a bit, Grace? It's quite small for me. It's not.
Mm,
I think it's not maximized. Maybe zoom it for like a couple of.
So this is my work desktop,
Okay.
um, which is nice because I'm able to have the dual screen, but then I cannot download from GitHub. So I had to retranscribe from what you were showing.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, just this one. I didn't do the rent one, really. Or I
Okay.
tried, but it was too much. But at 400, right? And then
Mhm.
25 for each ticket.
Yeah.
That's a
That's what I have.
4,700 profit from a
Mhm.
total cost of 12.9. But if we jump to 500 seats, that's $1 per seat per cost, apparently. So that's
Okay.
1,300 for the cost. Jumps the total revenue to 20,000. That's a profit of 7,001. And the 700 seats is a cost of 13.2 with a profit of 11.9 after a
Okay.
total revenue of 25. But I don't know if I understood the assignment, to be honest.
Yeah. Can you walk us
That's the part
through the
where I was
process?
working.
Yeah. Can you walk us through the process in which you were able to come up with these figures? Like, have you used the what if analysis or you
No,
did it manually?
I guess manually.
Yeah, can you use the what if analysis by
I don't
clicking
even
on
know.
the profit
Scenario manager
slash
or goal
loss?
seeker?
Yeah, it should be scenario manager. Yeah. and do it
Add.
step by step. Yep. Let me just switch to. So just to add the name, maybe scenario A, just like that. So that would refer to when you have a 500 seats. And then which cell are you changing, right? You will be changing that thing exactly. And then, okay, go. Okay. And then another scenario in which you have a 500 seats instead of 400, right? Or rather, I think
500 here for the
this
scenario
one,
B.
yeah, this one is for 500. Sorry. Was the A for 500?
No, scenario
Or-
A is the OG is
Okay, okay.
400.
Sorry, yeah. Then add it again. This time for the 500, and then do the same for a 400. But you're on a
But it's
wrong
saying
cell.
changing cells is B2.
Now, yeah, that's correct.
Oh,
But Grace, currently you're on a different cell. You're on cell H16.
oh,
So
I have to be on
yeah,
there.
you should be on the profit slash loss, because that would be the one to be referenced. Okay, there we go.
Okay. So when you were going through this, that's when I was working, huh? And then 5:30
Okay.
I clocked out.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
no
sorry
worries.
if I didn't get all of this.
No worries. It's
Uh,
perfectly fine. We can do it right now.
it's
So
just
apply.
Mondays that are like this, but it sucks that it's lecture. So
Okay, okay. Yeah, no worries.
um so this would be
Scenario B. Yeah, for 500.
500 seats.
Yep.
And so this would
y-
be
500.
500.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then add another one for C. This time
700.
for 700. Yeah. And change it to 700, and then uh, get the summary. You can immediately get all of the summary
No, because I
without
don't
doing
have
it.
formulas across the board, but we'll try. We'll try.
Yes, let's see what would happen. This is a good example. Okay, I figured that out when yeah, I saw the profit slash loss. So hit OK, hit OK. Okay, so what happened? So currently we have for a 500 we have a 13,000, which is obviously wrong, right?
Mhm.
Because it should be much higher than that. So
Is it for
that is,
this one right here?
yeah, yeah. So this is the exact thing that I was mentioning earlier, that you should have all the formula set up correctly, so that what if analysis would identify which cells are associated um, with that final cell, so that when it change the values, it would also be linked to that. Do you follow? Does it make sense? Can you go back to your sheet 3, Grace?
Sheet 3. Yeah.
Yeah, you look at your profit slash loss, and yeah, you see right here it's not linked to any, so you
Yeah.
don't have any reference, but you have the total cost, which has links to other cells. Can you go back to it?
Yeah.
So this is the one being applied with the scenario manager that you have earlier. That's why when you change it, yeah, um, it did not affect the profit slash loss, which we want to be changed. So um, what what error did you encounter when you tried to open the GitHub file?
My GitHub, it looks like it doesn't load. Like it looks like a Craigslist page. I
Hmm?
don't know what to call it. Like it looks like this.
Oh,
I think there's
interesting.
because I'm on a work desktop, so there's protections
Ah,
and firewalls because we're a
yeah,
hospital.
yeah.
So that's
I think
been
that's the
I've been
reason.
doing since I clocked out is like, how do I get these resources?
Okay,
How
okay.
do I
Let me
do
think.
audio on this? How do I
Yeah,
practice
yeah,
on
yeah.
the
So John would be sharing to you a copy of the file so that you don't have to go to GitHub to
I can
download anything.
access I was able to access Canvas. So if there's a file
No.
under
I haven't yet.
assignments,
I haven't yet uploaded it in Canva, so John would be doing it later. Okay, so you
yeah,
have to check on it. Okay. Thank you very much, Grace.
that's all right.
Hasiba.
That's why I didn't volunteer because mine was so like. you know.
Okay. No worries. No worries. It's perfectly fine. Yeah. Hasiba, can you share your work, please?
Yeah, I'm trying to share my.
And best if you can walk us through the process that you did, the processes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, not this one. Sorry, I shared wrong page.
Yeah. I figured out.
Oh,
This is from the like previous. This is
yeah,
for Power Query, I think. Power Pivot,
yeah,
rather. Yeah.
yeah. I was working on that. So.
Yep. Practice Power Pivot and Power Query. You would be using that when you start your journey as a data analyst and you work. That would be very useful too, because they would bombard you with so many data set, and you would be looking for ways to quickly load that and go through each of this data sets. So
So
Power Query would allow you to do that pretty quickly.
somehow there is not showing my Excel sheet. Okay, maybe.
You
I
can share your
found
entire screen if it's okay to you, and then we should see it in there. There we
Can you
go.
see it?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Currently, Hasiba, you're changing 3 cells when it should be that you should only change 1 cell, and that cell is
Okay.
the seat cost, right? So how was I able to see it? Because you have C5 and H4 and J4 in there. Yeah, you should only
Okay.
have like C5. I think C5 is the seat cost. So that's the only cell that should be changing for each of this different scenario. Okay? So
Okay.
let me do it, and you guys follow me. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. Perfect. Let me share my screen. Again, I'll also discuss to you, although it's not part of the syllabus, but Jeff was right that Solver is really something that I should introduce to you since we are talking something related to it. Do you see it, guys? Do you see my screen? Okay, perfect. So again, if you look at this cell, it is linked to other cells. This is F9 and C12. Which are this is F9 and this is C12. So again, in order to get the profit or the loss if it's positive, rather loss if it's negative, then um, there should be a formula in there. There should be a difference. Okay, so now as you might probably observe, these are of different values because I applied a solver into it earlier. But nevertheless, the process looks like this. So you go to profit or loss, go to what if analysis, and go to scenario manager. So I have here these different scenarios already. So let me delete them. All right, just to have a uh, fresh one. So let me add one. So I'll be calling this scenario A, just scenario B. Okay, I'm changing the cell this cell C5 because that's the only parameter that would be changing to 500 and 700, right? So we do this. So this would be when it is 500. Okay, let's add that. And then we have another scenario C, in which the same cell would change. This is C5. And then it is when we have 700 seats. Again, we are assuming that the other costs would be fixed. Okay, so we hit OK. And then we have these different scenarios. And when we hit the summary, okay, scenario summary, then this would show. So if we have scenario B that is 500 seats, and assuming that we will be able to retain the same cost from the other sources, then we'll have a 9 grand profit. And for 700, of course, that would be way larger. 7,642. So these are the different scenarios. Again, this is just for the purpose of discussion because most of the time, if you increase the number of seats, consequently the other cost would increase as well. So we're looking at this scenario. Okay, we are looking at this specific scenario in which the other cost would be changing as well. Okay, so for the ticket price, we could have a much lower ticket price just to sell that many, right? If you want to hit that, if you want to have the all the seats sold out, you have to adjust the price as well. Okay, so that's the reason why I change it also in here. So we have 40, we have 50, but in this case I actually increase it for some reason. So the ticket prices increases as well as the number of target seats that need to be sold increases as well. So this is 400 seats, 600 seats, 1,000 seats, $40 per seat, $50 per seat, $80 per seat. So this is the revenue, okay, per seat. And this is the equivalent cost. This is for the screen. Okay, let's go back to that. This is for the screen, ticking, lighting, and so on. Okay, so this is the example in which the other costs would be increasing as well together when you increase the number of seats. But the process of this is just the same thing as what we have done in here. Okay, for the purpose of time, I would not be going through it again. But the thing that we applied in here would also be done in there. Okay, to get this output. You can do practice during lab to somehow mimic this result. Okay, all clear? Now, going back to this, I want to introduce to you Solver. So this will not appear immediately in Excel. So you need to add this. So in order to get the solver, you go to File, you go to Options. This basically the process in which we got the Power Pivot. Go to Add-ins, and then go to Excel Add-ins, and then look for the Excel solver. Ah, it's giving this thing again. Okay, there we go. So mine, I do have other add-ins as well. I have a generative AI here, ChatGPT. I have others, but specifically, you only need this solver add-in if you want to use the solver. And you might be thinking, Jeff, how were you able to add the ChatGPT and other things? I just downloaded it, okay, and then it should appear in your add-ins option once you download it. There are tons of add-ins in the internet depending on what's your goal. Okay. So once you hit that and hit OK, then a solver option should appear in this. So once you have that, click on the solver. So this is pretty straightforward. I just removed the things that I did earlier just to start anew. So basically, what is the set objective? The set objective is the profit loss, right? Profit or loss. And suppose that, okay, the target profit, your boss told you we need to hit a profit of 10,000. That's my target. That's my goal. Okay. Now, how should we change the seats, the cost, and all other things associated with this profit or loss in order to hit that 10,000, 10 grand profit? Okay. And of course, we have other constraints, like we can only sell up to 1,000 seats. So let's do that. So this could only be at most 1,000. Okay. What other else? Of course, the other costs. Well, let's say that we can only afford to increase the price per ticket to up until say $30. That's the highest we can do because if we go over than that, there are other cheaper alternatives. So in a sense, we'll be having a hard time um, selling the tickets. So that's the highest we can go. And then what are the things? The highest possible sales that we can get from the food and beverages. So sorry, I have to add this. I have to add this first. Add. So for the food and beverages, the highest that we can possibly sell would be, how much is a taco in the drink? Is it like $30? Let's assume $30 for a taco and like uh like a Coke, 12 ounce of Coke or whatever. So let's add that. Okay, so we have three constraints, and again, we want to hit that 10,000 profit mark. Okay, so we'll be changing all other things. We'll be changing all our other things with consideration of these limitations. Okay, maximum number of seats to be sold, 1,000, but it can go lower, of course. Maximum cost, or yeah, cost for the ticket, 30. And for this, no, it should be changed because currently at 6,090. So let's see. If we assume this to be change 30 times, let's see, maybe double of this. Okay, we can um we can sell like twice of that. Because if we put 30 in there, then that would be a trouble. That would be a problem for us. And then once you have that constraints, once you have those constraints, you can just click on solve. Then all of the values would change automatically. Okay. Oops. Why? Was it giving me that? Oh no no. It should be done first. Wait. No no no. So we should do it for each of these parameters. First for the cost. Let's say. Let me think. So maximum cost that we can do would be like, let's say 30,000. And then this should be retained. This is, I have to delete. So we need to focus first on all of this. All of these parameters are related to cost. So 7 is not, should not be here. So it's only the seat for now. Okay, solve. Okay, it found a solution. So in order for us to have like a total cost of 30,000, we could have this, and then we do another solving for the revenue, like, and finally here later for the profit. Okay, so it's a three-step process. Solver, like for the price of the ticket, the objective is this, and we wanted to 40,000 because we want to hit that 10 grand total profit. And we have the following constraint right here. We delete this one. Say for the price of the ticket, we can go only at most $30. And then for the price of the beverages, we can double it. Okay, we can double that. Maybe 14,000 would be better. Okay, so let's just manipulate those two things. Hit OK, and let's see if there's a solution that would allow us to like get to 40,000 total revenue here. Okay, so it found a solution. So there should be a total of 22,727. That is equivalent to 909 seats. Our total cost increased by a bit, 30,444. So yeah, let's see if we apply the solver in here, because it's linked to the total revenue, so it should also change the other things. So for this one, for this, let's see. The total cost, we already have that. Yeah, let's see. Let's remove these things because those are the things we used for the two previous steps. So this, I want it to be at most, okay, at most 30,000. So let's change that. Let's add it as constraint. So that should be 30,000 at most. And yeah, let's see. Let's hit OK. Um, should have just hit OK earlier. I'll just remove this one. So let's see. So again, we're changing this. Okay. You need to change all other values here so that at most this will be 30,444 while still remaining or retaining 40,000 so that we can get um, a value of 40,000 here, or rather 10,000 for the profit or loss. Let's see. Let's see if it would find a solution. Okay, there we go. Oh, no, no, no. It's actually incorrect. It should be a value of 10,000, not 40,000. What I was thinking. Okay. Okay, so here we go. In order for us to get a profit or loss of 10,000, we need to have a fixed cost of 23,888. So that is equivalent to 770 seats. And these are the following costs. And the price of the ticket would still be the same, 35. But we should sell, again, this is 770, assuming that $25 would be the revenue for each of those tickets, totaling to 19,255. And then we should sell 553 worth of foods and beverages. So we will get a profit, a corresponding profit of $10,000 if this is the case. Is it something realistic? Let's see. Let's see if there are unrealistic things here. Yeah, the rent is realistic. This should be the highest cost right here. Yeah, this is a potential solution. This is actually a feasible solution. So again, the thing that I want to highlight here, guys, is if you want to optimize, and there are constraints, okay? Remember, we don't have any options in what if analysis to incorporate constraints. Okay, those are fixed values that we include in the goal seek and in the scenario manager, even in the data table, as I will show you later. We can use the solver for that. Okay, because oftentimes you have just a limited budget, like your boss would be giving you, okay, this is the maximum that we can go for this particular thing. So that would be your constraint. Okay, and you need to maximize. If you do this manually, this can be possibly done. Um, okay, Grace says, wouldn't be the $1 per seat be the realistic restraint? A realistic cost would bring up the total cost. Yeah, you're right actually. So the cost for like a seat, like $1 for each, would be unrealistic. Uh, and I agree with you with that. Okay. So in fact, the seat should not be here because that should be included in the rent. Like when you rent a place, it always consider like the capacity of that venue, right? So I just included the seat right here in order for us to like have a computation of what could be the potential equivalent sales for this number of seats. Assuming, again, this is again assuming that we would be filling up this value that would appear in here. Okay. So while, for example, we have a maximum value of 1,000 seats, even just hitting 770 would give us a total profit of $10,000. Again, it's this cost for the seat is oftentimes unrealistic. So you can just add that cost in your profit because usually that would be already under the rent. Okay. But the other things, I think these are realistic, like for the screen. Well, sometimes the screen is also under the rent, like for when you rent a place that already has this like wide white screen. But yeah, just for the purpose of discussion and just for the purpose of showing you how a solver can be used. Again, the solver is used for maximization and optimization. Maximization, minimization, and generally optimization. Okay, that you cannot do with what if analysis because that would, well, oftentimes include constraints. Okay, constraints. So that's solver. Again, it's not part of the discussion, but since it was raised, I think that it is a good thing that we include it in our discussion. We do that manually. I think John could remember in linear algebra. It's a system of linear equations. So identifying the maximum, for example, maximum equivalent profit, you'll be solving a series of linear equations. So it's not really difficult, but it's a lengthy process, especially if you have tons of indicators or variables. It could be X, Y, Z only. It could be W, X, Y, Z, or in this case, you have um, this 7 indicators for the cost. So, yep, that's all for the solver. Let's go to data tables. So data tables, these are oftentimes called sensitivity analysis in Microsoft Excel. So basically, it's like a scenario manager. So suppose you have this calculation of EMI, EMI in loans, that stands for equated monthly installment. So for example, you want to borrow 100 grand for an annual interest rate of 12%, and for a number of period of 24 months. Okay, months are typically the periods that are being used for this kind of loan setup. So in order to compute for the EMI, there's a PMT function in Excel, which is PMT stands for payment. So this function is typical for when you have a fixed loan, okay, a fixed interest for a certain amount of loan. So for example, for a certain duration, 24 months, and you have this 12% annual interest rate, what would be the equivalent equal monthly payments? So that's how you do it. Okay. So of course you can do it manually, and it's a lengthy process, but it can be done manually. So the equivalent monthly installment for this loan is 4,707.35 for 24 months. Okay, this is how, well, not really, because in your, for example, in your mortgages, there are certain considerations as well, like uh, uh, there is this possibility of including the forecast for um, what is CPI? Inflation. Usually, these are in terms of mortgages, those are adjusted for inflation. But again, for the purpose of discussion, we want to make things simple. Okay, so we have this loan, we have this EMI now. What could be the monthly payment, the EMI, for when you have a 5% interest? Okay, for when you have 6% up until to 12%. You might be thinking, okay, this is already the loan. Why are you why are you interested to know the equivalent to monthly installment for 5%? Because maybe there are other options as well. There could be other um, loaning institutions or credit institutions that would give you a much lower interest rate, and you may want to have an idea on how large or how small would be the difference. Okay, do you follow, guys? So here we would be using data table to see um, um, this different scenario. So we go to what if analysis, we hit on data table. So the row input in this case, uh, it would be blanked because we will be filling up only column F. So the input cell would be this. Okay, that would be the input cell. That's only a column. Wait, why is it invalid? Uh, column input sale. Do I? I think I need to include the percentages. Wait, column input cell. Okay, input cell reference is not valid. Am I missing something? Input cell, column input cell. Let me think. Let me try to remember. Column input cell would be the information that should be used in the computation. Let me think. Let me try to remember. Data table. Column input cell. Column input cell. Am I confusing myself? I think it should be this. Oh, wait. Give me a minute to think. A minute to remember the data table process.
I think both of these are input cells. Right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah. I was
both
thinking the
input.
same. Both should
So,
be.
like I think it shouldn't be the empty ones. Those, because I think those are
Um, this only? No, no, no. Uh, wait. Let me breathe. Let me try to remember. Data table. Okay. Data table would fill this up. Like it would compute for the equivalent EMI based on this computation. It would get like a scenario in which the interest is 5%. Ah, okay. Let me try. Let me try once again. Okay. What if analysis table? The input for the column cell is this. There we go. Okay. There we go. What I was thinking? I might be thinking of the two-dimensional case. Yeah. I might just be confusing myself. So anyway, so basically what's being done in here is you're applying the same computation. That's what you have in here, but with a different value of the input. So instead of 12%, as you would observe right here, okay? So this is the same case, okay, 470735. So this is being changed when you have 5%, when you have 6%, when you have 7%, and then lastly, if you have 12%. There's a way of comparing. A way of comparing. And yeah, why do I have a vertical thing here? Ah, yeah. Now that I thought about
Jeff,
it,
can you go to cell F4? How are the two tables linked to each other? Equals
they
C.
link to each
That's
other
how.
because this
Okay.
is just yeah.
Equals C, yeah.
It's just referencing to cell
And then you
C.
highlighted the table and then did data table, right?
Yeah.
Under solver and clicked
Yeah.
on the 12%, not the formula in C7.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll be repeating that again. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was a bit confused because my memory tells me that I should be highlighting this thing, but again, I might be just confusing myself. But let me do the thing again. So basically, the idea here is um, we want to see the scenarios in which the same loan would have 5% interest rate only, 6%, 7%, and so on. But we would be applying the same computation. What would be like the equivalent payment for the duration of the loan? So if we want to do that, we would be going to what if analysis again. And in there, go to data table. Again, this is also called sensitivity analysis. This is just column because it's column wise, but I'll be showing you the row wise version. So here, it would be populating the values column wise. Um, should I say column wise? Oh no, only column F. Okay, the column wise would be like has a different meaning. If we do this, you would see that it would change. So even if I add here like 20%, it would recognize that if we include that in the highlighting or when we create this uh, what if analysis. Because sometimes you would be needing to add like a new set of information. So as you can see, there we go. Okay. So
So Jeff, with something like this, wouldn't most commonly number of periods also changes? They tend to go longer when
yes,
the rate goes
exactly.
down. So can we
Yeah.
still use the same tool for a two-factor variable?
Yes,
Okay.
actually we have an example for a two-factor later
Oh, sorry.
before we
Okay.
end the discussion
Don't
for
want
the
to
what if analysis. Yeah.
jump.
But yeah, I want to make things simple for now, but later on you're right. The number of periods would be increasing together with the interest. So the longer your loan is, the higher the interest rate. That's basically the what's happening. So if you want to do it like this way, you have like different columns. So this is the column wise that I was pertaining to earlier. You just highlight it, basically the same idea. You go to data table, refer to the input cell. This is now the row input instead of the column input. Just leave it as blank, okay? And then there you have it. It would automatically identify that, okay, I'll be applying the computation for this different columns. Okay, do you follow, guys? Was the step clear? Again, this is just a similar to scenario manager. However, the good thing about this is just like what Grace highlighted is we can consider like a two variable scenario, and that's the next. Okay, so if there is no question, so suppose that if your loan is increasing, say in this particular thing, Grace, you have like different loan amounts. So you have the percentage at the top of the in the those columns, and you have the rows in like for the amounts. So let's see. So I might be thinking this thing earlier, like this is a two factor, two variable scenario. So the row input, so the values that would change would be this, and then the column input would be this. Once we hit enter, boom, we have like a different scenarios in which okay, this is the loan amount, this is the equivalent uh, loan interest rates, and the equivalent monthly equated monthly installment. Do you follow? And in fact, you can extend it like for example, I need a million and um, I can do it again. Unfortunately, yeah, it won't allow you to do that just by simply dragging it in there. You'd be needing to do the same process again to get the result for the new one. So for a million, for a duration of 24 months, then you have this specific loan. So, yep. Unfortunately, you can only do this for uh, at least how I know it, you can only do this with two factors at most. And yeah, if you think about it, it's a really good tool, especially with this kind of things like um, computing for the equivalent monthly payments, and you can generate also other information here, like what would be the equivalent interest rate for it, the interest amount rather. So let me think about what are the things that I can add here. Hmm. So in a sense, it's like really a scenario manager um, kind of thing. So in fact, data tables are not really well, relatively compared with GoalSeek and what do you call the other one? Scenario manager. It's not commonly used. People would prefer. Well, I think it would be context to context basis. And from the previous groups, I don't actually discuss data tables. I only discuss GoalSeek and um what's the other thing? I always forget the name. Scenario manager. This is the first time that I discussed data tables because yeah, again, you're just propagating the formula for different potential inputs. Like you're propagating this when you have $150,000 instead of 100, and instead of 12%, you have 5%, 6%, 7%, and 8%. And you can extend that again if this is like if you think about it as a series. Oh gosh, it should be like this, and you can immediately generate okay without any lengthy computation. You can propagate the formula for other values in terms of interest rate and also in terms of the loan amount. So yeah, um, so that's it for what if analysis. So let's have a quick tour of the. Do you have any questions, guys? Because I'll be going back to Power Query and Power Pivot. If you don't have any questions, maybe I can finish it in like 10 minutes. Questions? No questions? Was the steps clear and straightforward? Were you able to like follow it? All good, everyone? Can I get a thumbs up? Okay, I see Asiba, Jeff and Grace. Is everything clear? Again, I don't want to sacrifice quality for speed. So please let me know if something is unclear. I would be happy to go back to it and do a run through again. All good? Grace, Jeff, are you still there?
Yeah, sorry, no, I reacted. I put
Okay, okay, yeah.
thumbs up.
Sorry, I wasn't able to see it. So yeah, let me go back to Power Query again. Power Query allows us to work with multiple data set. It increases the capacity of Microsoft Excel because with Microsoft Excel we can only work until 1,045,572 rows, if I can remember it correctly. So with Power Query, you'd be using M codes. You don't have to write it on your own. There are so many buttons that you would be able to click in order to transform your data set, in order to analyze it. Um, so the good thing also about it is it allows us to see the steps that have been applied to our data set, so allowing us to go back in time, a sort of, and undo if something has been done incorrectly. So we can see the history of the transformation of the data set. And aside from that, if in the usual Excel, you can only generate one table per one data set. I'm referring to pivot tables. With Power Pivot, you can actually use multiple tables in order to get in order to do multiple pivot tables. So the secret there is to be able to create relationships or links with these tables. Okay, that's how we will be able to create multiple pivot tables that would well be useful in highlighting some tendencies in our data set or uncover some potential relationship. Okay, so let's open Microsoft Excel. Again, this is just a run through. because I feel that the discussion the last time was not that clear. So it's my duty to clarify any potential confusion from that discussion. So we go back here again. If you don't have Power Pivot here, the easiest way is to go to File, Options, and then pretty much the same steps that we applied in order to get the solver earlier. Then you see here Power Pivot. Okay, that's how you get it, and then you just have to restart your Excel, and then you should find it in here. But first, we go to Power Query. So we get data. Well, there are different sources. It can be taken from PDF, from JSON. By the way, what is JSON file? JSON file is what is this? JSON, JavaScript object notation file. This is typical. Well, basically, well, the name sounds awful, right? It's very lengthy, but basically, it's like key pair values, key key value pairs. Okay, so it's a compressed data version. So if you want to save a very large file and put it in like a way that it would be more efficient, then there you go, JSON file. And we know PDF. I don't know the meaning of PDF. Personal? No, no, no. I'm just guessing, but PDF, I'm not sure. Anyone knows what PDF is? Personal data file? Was it personal data file? Portable document format. Silly me. Why would it be called personal data? Portable document format. So, well, there's so many things like that. We just get used to names, but we don't exactly know. For example, if it's an acronym, we don't typically. It's not a requirement to remember anyway. So, um, we go to Excel workbook, and let me just use the example that we had before. And go to this. You have to know the location of your files, and for me, it's already set up this way. So when we do that, as you would probably observe, it is quite different when you just obtain the data by copying and pasting or by opening it directly as an Excel file. So I have here three tables: employee table, salary brackets, and transactions. Those are records. And one table is like a reference table to identify which employee has a particular like ID and their respective um their respective rank, I should say. And then we can get the option to select multiple items. Okay, and then there's two options here: load and transform. So when you hit the load, it will load the tables immediately. However, if you go to transform data, then you can apply this um, transformations. Again, this is context basis. So if you want up things or maybe do data cleaning, you can do it right here. So this values refer to the types. Okay. So this is an integer type, a whole number. This is a name. Okay, a name which is a string, also called that way. Also this one. So again, the data type is important because, for example, you are trying to uh, develop a chart or a visualization. So the data type would be very important because there are only like certain types that certain data types that certain chart would accommodate. So you have the country names and you have the age. So I'm here on the employee table. So basically you have here Sam, Sarah, Alex, Anna with the equivalent staff IDs. You can think of it like employee number. And then there's respective countries. So the record is probably from Europe. We have UK, Spain, France, and Italy. and then you have the age, and you have the level. Okay. Then when you go to the salary brackets, you would see again the level, but this time it's now renamed employee level. Okay, but the information is still the same. So this particular person with employee level 1 is an analyst with equivalent years of experience and so on, the base salary and the bonus. You might be thinking, okay, this is not a good table because I don't see any name. But again, this is just a reference table. So it means that if someone has an employee level 1 and it is automatically identified to be like an analyst, and the years of experience for those people would be less than a year, and they have this base salary and equivalent bonus. So this is a reference table, okay? And then we have the transaction. So the transactions, this is a record in which there will be multiple instances for customers. It could be that your customer, in this case, bought in the same in the period, okay, in the period of this record, bought 2 vehicles for some reason. So their customer name, that customer name would appear twice in here. And of course, there's also a possibility that the same employee closed the deal for the same customer. So there would be again multiple records of that employee right here. So as you can see, the employee here was identified using the staff ID, not the name. And this staff ID, again, if you go back to the salary bracket, this is equivalent to, no, not the salary bracket, but the employee table. This is equivalent to this. So they are just the same information. And as you can see, there's a common information in these tables that we can somehow use in order to link, okay, to link the records. And that's what we'll do. So again, this is a place that you can change the values. You can create groupings, and so on. So there are the practice that John gave you is, I think, a good practice in manipulating your data set. Okay, you can add columns. So for example, you have you want to add a calculated column for some reason, then you can do it this way. Just add column. You can also do conditional column. Think of it like the if statement, the conditional statement that we did. So if this value is this, you create another input this. Okay, so that can also be possibly be done in here in Power Query. Okay, so this is Power Query, and we can what are the things we can do with this? This is the applied steps that I was mentioning earlier. So if you want to see the history of your file, you can see it in here. Like for example, I add say in the salary bracket, I add another column here. Say it would be a conditional column that I'll just name it my column. Say if the value of the employee level is 1, my output would be say new. Okay. If my employee value level is greater than 1, then uh I will be tagging it as old. Okay. So we do that, and as you can see, the my column would appear in here. This ABC123 means that you haven't identified the specific type yet. So we change it to actual type that is appropriate for the input, which is text. So as you can see, it's changed to that. And as you can see, all the things that we've done is represented in this tab. So once I click the X in here, it would undo. Okay, it would undo the thing that we applied. As you can see, it was reverted back to having a no specific type. So let's put it back. So this is something that is very useful, especially if you're doing a very complex calculation, a very complex editing, and you screw things up, you can immediately undo it. And if you're working with a team, then it's very easy to evaluate if the team has done a pretty good job by looking into the applied step. So that's something that is very useful. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any questions with Power Query? Oh, where was it? Okay. It was thrown to my third monitor. Questions? So let me think. So we now transition to Power Pivot, in which we would be utilizing this this relationships that we identified, right? We go to Power Pivot and go to Manage. And in the Manage, there are different views here. There's a data view in which you would be seeing your data set, okay? And there's a diagram view. So we would be getting back the data from the external sources. I think we can use the existing connection if it shows in here. Yeah, open. Okay. Instead, I'm just using this. This is how I typically do this because typically when you do Power Pivot, you're trying to create a summary or a report in which all the all the related tables are combined together. So check on that. Use first row as a column header. Um, yeah, it's detecting that it's currently on use. Okay. So it's detecting that it's currently open. So what I want to do is first save it as book one and then close it. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. So with Power Pivot, Power Pivot is now our focus. Okay. Yeah, it's again doing that thing. Okay, there we go. Power Pivot, manage from other sources from the file. Same data set. And yeah, if you change, for example, if you have applied any editing using Power Query, of course you'd be searching that particular file. But for the purpose of discussion, I'm just doing that with the original file. But once you've done editing the data set with Power Query, you can also use it in here. Okay. So you use the Power Query for editing, and when you want to summarize, you can use the Power Pivot for that purpose. Hit close, then the data set should appear in here. So let's add a new column. Wait. Let's add the column here. Oh, no, no. Let's establish first a connection so that we can generate more measures. So earlier we found out that the staff ID, they're just basically the same. So we can connect the two records using that. So this is a one-to-many relationship. One employee could have several transactions. They can sell more than one. Okay. And then for the salary bracket, we have seen that the title or the level in the employee table is related to the employee table. So we can take advantage of that. So since this has a connection with this and this has a connection with this, we can sort of utilize the relationship in order to, for the purpose of like generating new measures or new
What
columns.
if those have like a little bit of variation within the data and you connect it
Sorry?
like that? What if there's like when you connect those data, like
Mhm.
for example, employee levels to levels, the two data that may have slightly difference, like a little bit of variation. What will happen if you do that?
What do you mean by that variation? Can you specify
Like the employee levels, I guess, one on the two files for employee and the salary bracket, the employee level. What if the data is not exactly the same, and you're connecting them to be like the same, like
um I did not understand exactly the question, but
so
maybe
no, I'm just saying like when you're connecting these, like for example, you're connecting the salary, the for example the employee levels, right, with the under the level under employee and employee level under salary bracket, where you're connecting
okay,
them to be the same. What if those two, because they're both coming from two separate files, right?
exactly.
Yeah. So what
Okay.
if like
I got
the data in there may be a little bit different, maybe
I
by
get your point. Yeah, I get your point. So, for example, in the salary bracket, there are like five different levels, and then in your employee table, you have six. What would happen to that row? It would get a missing number, like a missing cell. The total number of cells would be the same. The record would still be retained, but for the other records, it would be null. Does it make sense? Like,
got
for
it, got
example,
it, got
here.
it. But
Okay.
it's gonna basically show like a combination of the employee level
Yes,
from both.
it would still, but there will
Well,
be
I mean,
null, null, null.
I guess I'm also asking this question is like, what if you sometimes you just like just you just happen to connect two things that are not exactly the same? What will happen to be the same? You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't think it would allow you. Let me say, like for example, this title to email. Yeah, it won't allow you to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does it know it? Like it just sees that how much commonality you have between the two.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. For example, one way is first the data type. Like maybe you are trying to match like an integer value to like a string. Like, but what if like a customer name you're trying to match it with the employee name? Okay. However, there's a possibility that the employee name is John and the customer name is also John. So it identifies that. However, it's
Got
totally
it.
wrong.
It's just gonna mess up your data basically.
It
Your
would
data.
mess up. Yeah,
Essentially, you're gonna see your customer names under employees and your
exactly.
okay.
And that's we will do the same thing with um SQL when we are doing what do you call this?
Join like
Joins. Yeah, exactly. The joins. We need to identify the like the column
oh yeah,
in
so
which
you may sometimes when you search for stuff you might end up getting nothing because
yes,
they're not really joining
there would be nulls. Exactly. That's
because essentially they won't be able to find a match.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
That's
Makes
the
sense.
same thing that would happen with SQL, and that's the same thing that's happening here. If in the case that a level is not present in your reference table, like in the salary brackets, it would be null.
Okay.
That entire the
And maybe if you're
corresponding.
lucky, they both happen to be a John, and then they will connect. But then the data
It
you're
would,
getting is not exactly a good data.
yeah,
Basically,
it would screw your
because
your data.
it's two different John. But then you could
Exactly.
just because they happen to be the same name, John. They will
Exactly. But it happens. I mean, that's why you should be careful when you're trying to identify the
yeah,
relation.
that's kind of why I'm asking. Like, what if like sometimes I just make a mistake? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. The good point. Thank you very much, Jeff, for highlighting that. And yeah, since we have already established the relationship, then once we go to the data view, we can use the relationship. Let's first create let me think. What did I create here earlier? I think it was a profit, right? A profit column. A profit column would be this. Apologies, like for a while. Sorry about that. I thought the baby is alone. So anyway, so yeah, where was I? The transaction price minus the cost. that would give us the profit. And there we go. Yeah, so these are the profits for each of this. So we just rename it as profit. And then we want a measure. So a measure is like a calculation. It won't appear in your data model. This is just there for you to use it, to refer to it for your for your future calculations. Okay. So let's add a measure like just a sum of my profit, simple as that. And yeah, why is it not getting the profit? Let me see. Forgot that this is an M code, so there should be a bracket. Sorry. And then I will just call it total profit. As simple as that. And whenever we refer to total profit, we can use it in like computation. So for example, we want a column here like a profit factor. So sorry, I'm clicking too much. So suppose we want to identify like the profit factor. So that would be the profit divided by the sales price, right? So that would be the profit divided by the sales price. So so that we can identify which product has the highest um, profit factor. So we can change the type of this into percentage. So profit factor. Profit factor. And then we can change this to percentage. So of course, the highest the profit factor, the higher the profit. So Toyota, as you can see, has the highest profit factor. Well, it could be this like high end. We don't see the type of the vehicle. We only see the brand, so we're not sure if whether what particular profit this is. And again, this should be dollar, but it's automatically identified by the system as a peso based on my location. So we fix that this way. And let's see, we can create another measure here, like getting the average of this profit factor, just to see how much in average is our profit. Not how much, but um, yeah, how should I say that? It would get it would give us like a summary of what is our profit uh, for in general. So just profit factor, simple as that. It's already existing, so profit factor tab. Yeah, my bad. So it's already existing, so it would confuse the system. So as you can see in here, so I just added the profit factor just to identify which particular records have the highest equivalent profit. So that's how you do it. How you add new columns, and then let's see, what else can we do? We can create pivot tables, right? We can create pivot tables. Basically, this time we can take advantage of that relationship. Say, I think the example that we had before was identify which which employees are performing well. So we look into the total sales, right? The total sales for each of this. Why do I have the email? Okay, I don't need the email. I need the name. So as you can see, these are the total prices, sales rather, of each of these employees. As we see Alex. Now, it is intuitive to see whether um, the level of employee plays a role in explaining how well they are performing. So we'll look into the columns. So as you can see, Alex, or rather Mike, is on the director level, right? I think that's the director level 4. and it is intuitive that he has the highest because in terms of experience he has the highest. Okay. However, Sarah, as you can see, this is an employee with less than a year of experience, but she is really performing really well. And another thing is, maybe better look into profit, because it could be that Sarah is um, selling good in terms of just total price, but if you look at the profit, she wasn't really performing really well. So we look into the profit, we see Mike has the highest, which is somewhat expected, because he has the highest. But if you confirm the difference earlier, there was only $3,000 difference between him and Sarah. Okay. However, when you look into the profit, you see that Sarah is only the third. It's still good. The performance of Sarah is still good. However, as you can see, Sarah was selling um, this cars with a lower profit factor. Okay, a lower profit. So um, still good. At least we saw some insights that even though I think Alex was just, if you look at the total amount sold, Alex was just, yeah, on the third place. But if you look uh, into the profit, you would see that he is second. So Alex was able to sell those units with higher profit factor. Okay. And what else? We can actually create KPIs. I think that's the other one that we talked before. So the KPIs would allow us to see, okay, for example, their target profit is say 50,000. So how far are they from hitting that target? So we go here, we add the status, right? So should go in the values, sorry. And I don't want to see, this is a pretty ugly. No, this is not a good, this is a good not a good table, because I see this values, right, in which I don't know, not be the values. um let's see, the value should be here, and as well as the status. Wait, the level is the thing that I should remove. So as you can see, we were able to say identify how far are they from the target. So you might be thinking, Jeff, why is Mike green when he's below the target, 50,000? The reason for that is, if you go back to the KPI, right? Where was it? Power pivot, where is it? If you go to the KPI, if you would see actually that it is in terms of percentage. So once you go like at least 80%, over 80%, that 80% near the target, then it would turn green. We can actually make this tighter by adjusting this. No, I just need to manage this KPI, then edit, make it tighter. And as you can see, um, should have changed now. Let's see, 48,000. Yeah, Sarah's changed, but let's see if we make it tighter so Mike could. Yeah, this is a bit stingy, I guess, but yeah, I just want to show to you that it's very near to the target actually, 48,000. So um 49. This would work now. There we go. So if you would ask me, Jeff, do you use this frequent? The answer is no. Again, as I have said before, it's just a matter of preference. But like for example, like 3 weeks ago, my boss asked me to create KPIs. So I created this thing. But personally, I'm more into conditional formatting. I find this more interesting because it's the actual values that change color. So instead of creating these KPIs, I would rather personally, this is just my personal take. I would be creating conditional formatting. Again, it's just depending on your preference. But this looks nice. This looks smart. Okay, using KPIs. So anyway, so that's all. Any questions, guys? How about charts? Jeff, how do we create charts from here? Pretty much the same way as how we do it in Excel. Again, I'm not a fan of charts with Excel. Um, it's too primitive for me. We don't want the status in there. We don't uh we want only the values. I think yeah. There's a way for it to be not shown in here. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's being captured also. So anyway, yeah, if you want to create charts, you just go to insert and then identify the charts. So usually if you have the KPI, you don't want to combine it with other charts as well because this actually gives you the insights that you need. Okay, guys, any questions? Any questions? We can insert a slicer also, like for example, maybe well, we only have several categories here, maybe by level. We can look at it. So level one, let's see all the employees. Only level one, Sarah and Sam. Level two, there's a way to do multiple selection, one and two. I think Mike is the only one at the director level. Yeah, only Mike. So slicer is like a filter, okay? That it's interactive. So yep, that's all, and you'll have another practice with John with what if analysis. John assigned to them the practice in lab. And tomorrow, do a review, a comprehensive review from the very beginning up until to the last topic. On Wednesday, that would be their exam. And then on Saturday, we'll start with SQL. Okay? So, guys, how was it? Was it clear or do I need to
Sounds
go back
good.
to any of the topic? Okay, okay. How about the others? Anything? I might be I might be creating a video, a recorded video for VLOOKUP. I think VLOOKUP is something that you have to know. And also XLOOKUP. Although XLOOKUP, I think it's only available in like recent version of Excel. But yeah, I'll be creating a video and paste it in the YouTube channel so that you can see how VLOOKUPs are being used. So just apply row by row. So or searching, referencing row by row. So it's not really that complicated. What else? We've been into charts, we've been into Power Query, we've been into what if analysis, scenario managers, we've done Power Pivot. This the developer thing, this is not part of the discussion. I just downloaded this because some time ago I was looking into ways into inserting this thing. Checkbox. This my team was asking me, Jeff, give give us a checkbox in Excel. We can't find any way to do it. So yeah, I just kind of walk them through how to get that. As you can see, there's a checkbox here, which is pretty useful. It's a simple thing, but it's very useful, especially when you're tracking projects. So VBA, that's not part of our discussion. It's advanced Excel, macros. In fact, I don't have, I think, the expertise to do that, to teach that aspect, to be honest with you. But it's something that you would definitely learn once you have a position that is really focused on Excel. But yeah, I'm more into Python and SQL. So anyway, I think that's all. Oh, I thought I was still sharing. Sorry, sorry guys. But anyway, yeah, I'll be leaving you with John. Maybe you can have a quick break before you transition to lab. So I went over time again. Apologies.
Okay, sir.
I just want to go back to Power Query and Power Pivot just to make things clear. So thank you very much, everyone. It's the end of the Excel session. The next would be SQL. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So before we proceed to the lab session, let's have a quick break. Maybe a 10-minute break because the last or a 15-minute break because the last 15 minutes I will just show you the assigned lab that we need to complete. Hello? Jeff, Siba, is still there?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me share my screen first so that I can show you the assignments, the remaining assignments that we need to complete for the Power BI. Oh no, sorry for the Power BI. That's for the other class that I'm handling. So so for the Excel, so the things that we already covered are the challenge 1, challenge 2, lab 1, lab 2, as well as lab 3. Now I just posted the lab 4. It's about the pivot charts and data visualization. Some easy stuffs about the some simple stuffs about the pivot charts and tables. So I think this one is much easier compared to the examples that we have. Let's see. Have you already used this? I think not. So we can use this to for the pivot charts and data visualization. So we need to use this lab for data Excel file, and all of the instructions are on the docs file. So it is also a step-by-step process on what are the things that we need to do for the lab 4. What else? I'm thinking if I will post this working on multiple tables. Actually, this is the topic that was covered the last time. During the Saturday meeting, the long lab meeting. It is about the cookie company if you already watched the video. So okay, I will just post this activity. So if you happen to watch the last Saturday session, all of the process was already in there. Okay, so it is about the cookie company. Let's see. Okay. That this is the thing. So I will just post this, and if you followed all of the steps that during the discussions last Saturday, you can complete this. What else? And the last
We
thing
can
is the
work on this tomorrow during the lab, right?
no, the lab during tomorrow's lab, we will have a review, a recap from the very beginning of our discussion.
Got it. Okay.
But since these are many stops, lab 4, lab 5, and lab 6, maybe I will set the deadline until um, ideally before we start sequel, so that
Okay.
you can focus on your sequel.
Okay.
Let's see. What if analysis? I'm not yet opening this activities, so I have no ideas what are its contents. So just let me know if you um if you if you encounter some problems while doing these activities. Problem 2. So all in all, you have lab 4, 5, and 6. But the answers for the lab 5, it's already on the video on the Saturday's meeting. I will just assign this. And tomorrow we will have a review of, let's say this is just 20 points. What if analysis due date is the Saturday. My options. It is available from now until maybe Monday. So you can publish. Oops, wait. I think I need to remove this part. The lab 5.24 is for sequence. Okay, I need to remove this. Delete this one. Okay, save and publish. Save. What else? edit this one. Okay, so maybe that's it. That are the things that we need to accomplish. I will just edit some of its files so that you won't be confused. For the lab 5, actually it is just a single file, but I will also upload here the data that we need to use. One, so I can remove this. And I think I need to upload the cookie data. Insert some documents. IDE April. This cookie company data. Insert. And 17, 2018, 2019. And then 2020. Let's say 50 points or 30. Okay, so that's for the lab 5. Let me know if you can see it on your canvas.
Yep, got it.
How about the lab 6? Do you see it?
Yep,
On
we'll see
your-
all 4, 5, 6.
Okay, so
Okay.
that are the things that you need to complete. I set the deadline until Saturday, but you can still submit your works until Monday.
Okay.
Because all of these are named. Okay, so maybe that's it. And see you tomorrow for our review session.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.
Hey John, I need to check with the previous assignment and I will send it to you maybe in a
Okay,
minute.
so I suggest you send it through my email. I message you through Discord.
Yeah, I saw your
Mhm.
message, but somehow I cannot find the serial document
The serial
in my
document.
computer. Can you please send it? Or I can download it from Canvas again.
Yes, you can download it on the canvas. This one.
Yeah,
Ah,
okay. So that might maybe I need to do it again because or maybe I save it somewhere else. If I
Mm.
found it, I will send you. If I
Okay.
couldn't, I have to do it again and I send it to you.
Sure, no problem. I will just give you consideration. I know that you did it since you submitted the files, but it just
Yeah.
happens that you
So
you
all of them
uploaded wrong.
is like all of them are blank.
Yes, I think all of them. Wait, let me download your submissions
Okay. Can you please verify which
so that
assignment should I send
your
back?
Hasiba. Um, see. But wait, shows easy. Let me verify it first so that you will just repeat the assignments that are actually missing.
Okay.
I think. Give me a minute so that I can download all of the submissions.
Sure.
Download submissions. This one. Okay, until the lab 3. Okay, let me check it. Let me share my screen so that you can also see it.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I thought I submitted all of them.
So it happens that some of the students have problems in the submission, especially at the beginning of the course. You are a SIBA, right?
Yes.
SIBA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's check the challenge one first. Check all. Challenge one. This is for the challenge one. And Hasiba.
Yeah, I can
This
see
one.
mine. Mhm.
Enable editing. Under the challenge. So here, your document is unedited.
Yeah.
Yes. So that for the challenge one.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I missed this challenge. I think I did on the same page that, like the sheet.
On this one?
Yeah, no, this not. Maybe
Or maybe on
yeah,
the other activity. So
yeah, I
so for
have
the
it
lab.
on my computer, but I sent it you the wrong one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see the other one. Extract this. So, okay. I think you have two submissions on the other activity.
You write a note. You wrote a note that as a late.
So here you also don't have any submissions,
Okay.
even on the activity two. So about those notifications on the late submissions, actually I'm not the one who's messaging you about the
Okay.
late submissions. It's the
Okay.
function of the Canvas that.
Oh, I have the right file in my computer, but I sent it you somehow. I don't know the wrong one. So yeah,
Here,
this one. I worked on it, but somehow I lost it. The cereal company.
the serial. Oh, okay, so it's the serial one.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should do it again. I'll
Okay,
send
so
it
I
to you.
will just give you more time on completing that. It's okay. It's understandable.
Yeah, so I the files that I have, I'll send it you now, but for the serial, maybe I would work on Thursday after exam,
Okay,
or
sure.
I will see if I could find a time tomorrow or
Okay,
the
sure.
other day. I will do that.
Yes, sure.
Mm,
So, but for this one, the last activity, you have answers. Yes,
Yeah.
you can see it here. So the only thing that are missing is the first three up to the
First
serial.
three.
Yes,
Okay. So let me double check
first three.
now with my.
Here is your serial.
Do
Is
you
this
have my
one?
serial? Okay.
Is this one?
Yeah.
But I think you uploaded it in on the wrong okay, it's correct.
Do you have the serial one?
Let's see. Let's wait.
Okay.
I'm somehow confused on on your submissions. I think you are submitting on a different a different, like for example assignment 1, you accidentally uploaded it on other assignments.
Oh, so I basically go to Canvas and there is let me
Okay, let's
like a
try.
star assignment, then I will submit there.
So on the Canvas, make sure that
Yeah.
when you submit the assignment, you will
Okay.
upload the file on the correct assignment so that it is easier to find it.
Okay.
Okay, have you take note of your missing assignments? The first one, the second one,
And the third one.
the third one. What's the fourth one? What assignment is the
Lab 3, I
lab
think.
3 is the
The pivot table, I did it.
this is the serial, right?
Yeah, I did the serial and I did the pivot table, I think.
Serial. So let's see. Wait. Submission 3, submission 4. I think you have the serials here. It's here. This one,
Yeah.
including its visualizations.
Yeah.
Including its visualizations. Common functions. Let's see. Tab 3. You somehow included. Okay, okay. I got it. So this is for the lab 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I will put it here. And submission 4. You are not submitting yet. No, no. You have a file here. Oops, the same serial data.
Yeah.
I think that's it. The first 3 only are the missing.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
I would just send it to your email.
Okay,
Can you
sure.
please show me in Canvas how to submit an assignment?
Okay, so let's convert to the student view. So here are the it looks like this in your interface, right? Looks like
Yeah.
this. So we have an upcoming assignment. Let's say the lab 4.
Yeah.
So I will click the lab 4 and here, it's locked until I will edit the files later.
Okay.
But it's student view. I will edit it now so that we can see it actually edit. Its availability. It's open from save. Save. Okay, let's have a student view. Still lock. I will adjust the dates.
Okay.
Somehow it's confusing on the time zones that we have.
Yeah.
Let's make it 28. I will make all 28. Okay. It is accessible now. So the lab 4, it's one of the upcoming assignments. So we can open that, and let's say this is the Excel file that you will use to answer the activity, right? So what I can suggest is just to download it, those files that was uploaded on the lab 4. And then on your computer, open those files. And to avoid confusion, I suggest that you change the names.
Okay.
Let's say you edited this. Let's say you edited this, and you have here your answers like this. Okay. So for example, and let's say you are done. What I can suggest is to save it as, so file, go to the file, save as, and then let's say lab 4 data, and let's say you will put your name, Hasiba,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and you will find where do you want to save it. Let's say on the desktop only.
Desktop, yeah.
Yes. And when you close this, it is already on the desktop. Lab 4 data, Hasiba. So we are sure that this is the correct file, right?
Right.
And then let's say you are done. You will now click the start assignment, and then you can upload file here.
Mm-hmm.
Upload file, and you can choose file, let's say on your desktop. So this one, lab
Yeah.
4 data Hasiba. So we are sure that this is the correct file because we renamed it. And then if you uploaded all of the needed files, you can click submit assignment, so that we can also avoid confusion on the things that we can submit. I suggest you change its file name, just to have a distinction that that is the correct file.
Yeah, I did the same process, but somehow I sent the wrong files.
So it
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
It's okay. So I will just give you considerations. You
Yeah.
can submit your
Yeah, I will
files
send it
on.
to your email in a minute. Okay. Thank you so much, John.
Okay, sure.
Have a
So
good
thank
one.
you for that. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.